Welcome, welcome. That's my thing, right? I always say welcome, welcome.
I've caught myself going, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Well, that's how we get down, man. And this is Coffee with Jenni and Dre. I am Dre. That's my beautiful co-host, Jenni.
What up?
This is episode 2 of season 3, man. We're getting things rolling, like I said. We're doing some new things, got some new vision. And we're just hard at work, man, to try to give the listeners, give y'all folks exactly just about life perspective coming from my beautiful wife and myself. What's the coffee of the week this week, babe?
Coffee of the week. When picked it up this morning.
Okay.
Medici.
Okay.
Really like it. 5 locations in Austin.
Yeah.
Main hub is off of Springdale.
Okay.
That's where they actually do the roasting.
By our old house.
By the old house.
Yep.
This one that I went to specifically today was in the Domain. Domain, Westland, Springdale, I think towards maybe Westlake. I could be wrong on that. Anyways, 2 more locations.
Yeah.
This is their espresso brand, La Familia. Yep. Very good. The notes here are going to be dark, fruity, nutty, and cocoa.
Let's try it out.
Michael is the owner.
Shout out Big Mike.
Yeah.
Or Little Mike. I don't know which one.
Let's see. I really like it.
I taste fruity.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But it's not bitter at all. So like when I first read it, I was like, I'm scared it's going to be, because you know why? I think the nutty in it is what, should I say pause?
You don't have to.
Okay. The nut, that's what makes it, I think just the flavor that I like so much. So I got an espresso there today so that I actually cheated and tried it first.
This is your third coffee of the day?
This is my third coffee today. So calm down. I need to calm down a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so
Medici, yes.
Okay.
And one of the managers at the Domain location, she's the one that helped me, and she was like, yeah, you should go to the Springdale location. Michael will probably let you see the whole roasting
process.
So he can take you back and see it. So Michael, I'm going to hit you up because I really would like to see that. But
nice.
One really cool thing about them that I thought was super cool was all of their staff has to go to the Springdale location to learn and watch the bean from the time that it's a green bean all the way through the roasting process. So they're not just taught how to be baristas, meaning just how to make coffee.
All this stuff,
they actually see it from the bean through the roasting process, and they have to learn all about it. And then they get to go and make the coffee and do all the things. But yeah, cool. So I thought it was super cool. I like it.
All right.
Y'all go check it out. Medici. I'm going to put it over here.
Check it out. Okay, let's jump into this pod because we got a lot to talk about. We got a little juiciness on here, man. We're going to be giving some stats since my wife thinks my stats be fake. So we got some real stats. And this is from Forbes, right?
Yes. This
Forbes. Okay, and this is our topic today is definitely, I feel like it's a good topic.
It's a good topic. It's an important topic.
Definitely important topic. It's about, we're going to be talking about divorce, but we're also going to be given, how to, understand the reasons behind failed marriages and how these stats can help and how you can, better support married couples and better support your own relationship.
Right. And knowing what to expect before going into a marriage.
Yeah.
And then knowing that will help you to learn kind of how to deal with it and how to save it potentially. Sure. After looking at the stats and knowing the reasons why marriages fail, it's very interesting. And I think if you know the main reasons and causes, then that's just one step of trying to prevent it from
happening. I was reviewing these stats and all these numbers and percentages and all that, there's some cap on some of these shits. I call cap on a lot of these shits. She don't. Me personally, I think a lot of these stats are kind of bullshit. But we're gonna go with them. We're gonna see what y'all think. I do.
Okay. Well,
so we're gonna start with the first. The first segment is why do people get married? They gave some percentages on the main ones of why people get married. And go ahead, babe. Read the first 3.
The top 3 reasons why people get married. Number 1. Financial security.
Okay.
And we'll go ahead and hit on that. That is majority of women's.
Yeah.
The most 42% of women get married for financial security.
So let's stay on that one real quick because I like to say so you think so we got on this last night. So 42% of women marry for financial support,
For stability.
Are we saying that's a condition?
Yeah.
So
I don't, whatever.
come on, I'm calling cap on some of this shit. So 42% of women marry conditionally.
Yeah, but there's so much behind that. Back in the day, women didn't work. They didn't work.
Okay.
So it was normal.
I don't think these stats are going like way back.
No,
I think these stats are updated to now.
Okay, well then, but it's, okay, we are conditioned as a woman from back in the day to find a man who can take care of you. Stability is very important for a woman.
So 42% of y'all women are married for conditional reasons.
What I don't agree with is that being the sole purpose.
I don't think it's the sole purpose.
That's what's interesting to me is, 42%, the main reason they get married is for financial stability, and that
conditional.
That is interesting to me. Whereas number 2,
men love unconditionally, women love conditionally. We just know it to be fact.
That is not that, again, with your statistics.
I didn't give us that. I'm just trying to tell you.
So women don't love unconditionally. That's what you're saying.
I think women love unconditionally.
Girls, if y'all don't get on here, and because
I think there's some women that do love unconditionally. They love that man like that. But I think when they have kids, they love unconditionally. But I do think that stat is a little bit low. I think more women get married for conditional reasons than men do.
Okay, so then the number one reason men get married, which is 39% of men get married for companionship.
Yeah,
that is the main reason they get married, companionship. Which I've told you, and you're like, oh, well, I could pay for someone to come in and clean my house and cook for me. No, y'all want someone there to do all the things for you, to cook for you, to clean for you, and to be there with you. You don't want to go buy it. That's not what you want. You want the companionship. That's what a man wants.
That's not condition.
And that's why, I don't know why I don't give a crap about conditions. I don't know why you're stuck on a condition.
I'm just saying. Okay.
No, that still is a condition if you want to look at it a certain way.
Okay.
If I marry you because you can provide for me financial stability, you marry me so that I can make you feel good. You feel like you have a companion. It's still a condition.
Okay. I'm going to let you do your thing.
Good.
Cap.
Okay. And then so then 36% marry for love.
Yeah.
That's number 3.
That's number 3. 36% married for love, which should be, it's all different for different people. Some people marry to be a power couple. So some people marry to, family reasons. There's a lot of reasons why people get married. We're not gonna touch base on like. Oh,
I was gonna say. We could quickly.
We're gonna go over all of them, but we're not gonna talk about all of them. So read the rest of them off real quick, babe.
So number 4 would be a formal act of making a commitment. That's the number 4 reason. Number 5 is to start a family. That's 34% of people get married to start a family. This one is interesting to me. 28% of people get married for convenience. 25% of people get married for medical insurance, which I feel like we should talk about. Get married for medical insurance.
But we know people that has done that before.
Yeah.
We've known people that, I'm not saying that they wasn't in love, but like they rushed to marriage
marry for
they can be on the
insurance.
other person's insurance to be able to do things like that. So not saying they wasn't in love, but people rush to get those.
I feel like that's like another reason why our divorce rate is at 50%. Like our reasons for getting married, in my opinion, only 36% are getting married for love.
Yeah.
Red flags all over the place. So, okay. And then this one's great. The next one, 16% of people get married for legal reasons. And then it doesn't have a percentage on this one, but it's lower than 16% are from just like family pressures to get married.
For sure. Which
I thought would be higher.
I think more so like family pressure and also your girl or male groups that like all your girlfriends are married. You're the only one left. It's a lot of pressure type of deal.
Wow.
I think that goes with a lot of it as well, as far as like pressure wise, and that sucks.
So which of these, for the listeners,
what did you marry for? What did y'all marry for?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Did y'all marry for?
Because for me, answering that 100% strongly feel that I married for love. Like,
yeah.
If I'm not a ride or die, then I don't know.
I got something in my throat.
Was that spicy?
Yeah,
was it spicy coffee?
Fruity in that drink.
1000% married for love. And if I didn't,
For sure.
then there's no way we would be sitting here right now.
If
I married you for any other reason, I wouldn't be here.
Well, I was well off already before I met you.
Okay,
I mean, so,
here we go.
I mean, I'm not saying that you marry me for that. I just like to just tease you with it.
Right.
I'm not saying, I mean, financial security. I mean, I think you did marry me because you were just madly in love. I do think that, and you know what I'm saying, I don't know if this is even part of it, relationship wise, like I feel like people get involved with people that they don't, that didn't like them. So I always tell like my sons and they're just my daughters, like who likes you. Don't like who you like. Like, don't fall in love with the person you like who likes you.
Well, then you're doing. If I'm marrying someone I don't like, then what's the difference?
No, what I'm saying is, my meaning is that like dudes might chase the girl that's really not that into them, but then there's another girl that's extremely into them and they don't like that person.
That's how it works all the time. It's like nice guys finish last. Women always go for the bad guy that's going to hurt you.
Yeah.
Like he's obviously not ready to be married.
So
he's not ready to have
who
children.
Likes you.
But that's who the woman wants for whatever reason. And then, I don't know, Kevin on the side is like the nicest person on the planet.
Yeah.
Will treat you good. And it's like,
So
I don't know why that is.
Me personally, I also think that women in most cases marry, like I don't know.
Marry down.
I don't want to say they marry down, but I don't think that they marry the person that they envision themselves marrying. If that's a good way to put it. I would rather put it a little different way, but like y'all don't marry like y'all dream guy. Like most women don't marry like their dream guy. They marry a guy that they didn't see as their husband.
There's a TikTok or an Instagram or whatever, a reel out there that says my who I was crushing on at 16, and it'll show whoever their crush was, and it says, and who I married. Have you seen that?
Totally different guys.
Totally different. They're hilarious.
Just like the movie The Notebook, for example, when the mother took her daughter to, I guess it was like the
that would be
like working
on.
I think the dude was working on the railroad or whatever, but she took her by there and she was like, yeah, that dude right there who was, I guess he was, working on the railroad tracks, whatever. That was the love of her life. That's the one that he loved her and she loved him, but he wasn't financially stable. He wasn't all that type of deal. So she chose, and from family pressure, she chose somebody else.
So, and this is knowledge that other people know, but I think people tend to forget about it, or, history class was a long time ago. So just recently, I told you I was at a funeral and there was a 97-year-old woman there.
Yeah.
And she had a book of basically the entire family history from the time they came over from Germany, right? And here's what we forget. Like, so my stepdad's great-grandparents were from Germany, and she has the picture of the boat and everything that they came in on. So, interesting. The mom, the grandma, came from money. The granddad did not have money. They were not allowed to marry in Germany. It was illegal because they were of different classes.
Yeah.
So that's why they came to the U.S., is to be able to get married.
That's for love.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like, not even like, I mean, we can talk about, races and colors and all the things where you weren't allowed to get married. These people weren't allowed to get married because they were on different classes as far as finances, and like,
for sure,
that's something that is. And so back then that was a big deal.
Yeah,
you didn't marry below what you were in, and if you or you had to skip to America in order to do it. Like, that's crazy.
For sure.
That's love. You're right.
That's love. So those are exactly what I said, why people get married. The next one is why marriage. Wait, no, not no. It's
why marriages fail.
Why marriages fail.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna read these ones off.
Sure.
And so the number one factor of why marriages fail is lack of family support, and that's 43%. Number 2 is infidelity or affairs, that's 34%, and compatibility, intimacy, and commitment is 31%. You want to touch base on any of those?
I was shocked at the number 1.
Yeah.
Lack of family support.
What does that mean?
That to me means like you're not getting along with your in-laws. It's like that to me is what that means, because it's your family doesn't support who you marry, or my family didn't support who I married.
Yeah.
Or a combination of both, which I think is sad. I think it's sad. And
I don't think that's right. I mean, I really don't think that. I don't think that's correct.
I just feel like a guy we follow, I think he said it best. Like, if you, like for us, for our kids, the best thing we can do, now granted, it's a good situation and there's not like abuse going on or anything like that. But when our girls get married, it's our time to now respect the fact that that is who they chose, and that is now their family that they're creating. And so it is not our job to then tell them what to do anymore. It's our job to support them no matter what.
For sure.
And I think as long as you can do that, your kids are going to respect you. Their husbands or their wives are going to respect you.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's so sad that 43% of marriages are not making it because the families didn't support them.
For sure. And I really think that number is high. I don't even think that one is whatever.
That's because it doesn't make sense to us. But
it doesn't.
It happens. And this is why we talk about, like, before you get married to someone, if you're already fighting with their parents, that's a problem.
For sure.
That's a problem.
So to me, like I said, one is lack of family support, infidelity, affairs, and then compatibility.
So 34% is infidelity.
Yeah.
34%.
But I think that the next 3
go together
should be higher than the first 3. So the next 3 is too much conflict or arguing, 31%, financial stress, 24%, and parenting differences at 20%. I feel like those 3 seem to be...
Financial stress surprised me at 24%. I thought it would be higher. Now, commitment, intimacy, lack of compatibility is all like one thing. That's at 31%, and conflict or arguing is 31%. So it's kind of basically right there.
Yeah.
They're both number 3.
For sure.
To me, infidelity and the next one, lack of intimacy, those go hand in hand. Like, if you lack compatibility and intimacy, then I feel like it's inevitable that
someone's
going to step out. Yeah, for sure. So those aren't shocking. Marrying too young was the next one. Or I'll let you do it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, marrying too young, but that's at 10%. And, opposing values or morals is at 6%. Substance abuse is at 3%. Domestic abuse is at 3%.
That's shocking.
What? Domestic abuse?
Domestic violence is only at 3%. I would have thought it would have been higher. That's sad, but I would have.
I don't know if people that are married are just having a lot of abuse going on like that domestically wise.
You know what? That's probably just me, like, having grown
maybe
up in it. I just feel like more, like, I would have thought it would be higher. That's gross and sad that I think that way, but I thought it was higher. So interesting. So again, main reasons marriages fail. It's important to know it, because then you can, like, if things are already going wrong, and that's why we've talked about, it's like some people go to counseling before they get married. And I think a lot of this can come to light if you discuss these things, like discuss your parenting styles, discuss your finances, discuss this stuff before you get married.
For sure.
And I think a lot of people don't know someone's credit score before you get married. That way there are no surprises.
For sure.
And who cares if you're like, okay, you're at a 540, but let's work on it. It is what it is, but as long as you know it before it goes into it, it can't start an argument, or shouldn't start an argument.
That makes sense. But I like I said, I just, like, for number 1 for marriages failing is lack of family support at 43% is crazy to me.
Yeah.
I don't even see. I've never met anyone, because I know a couple people that's been divorced. I've never met any one of them that were like, we got divorced because of lack of family support. It was always something else, one of those other ones on the list. You
know what it always is? I feel like it's from like the female side. Females just can't. It's oh, their mother-in-law, or there's this like there's always this like weird tension.
Yeah.
And I don't know like why. That's why mom is like having girls. She's like, at least you get son-in-laws. You don't have to deal with daughter-in-laws. Sorry,
for sure.
Sorry, my sister-in-laws probably are listening, but it's just different. Son-in-laws are different, and it is what it is. So, So know the statistics before you get married and know how to prevent it.
Because these stats can help you prevent these things when you get married or before you get married.
And we're looking at over a 50% divorce rate.
Way higher than that.
It still was saying about 50%.
That's
I don't know how it stays at 50% always, but I mean, at a 50% divorce rate. The only statistic, is that on? Did you put that on
That's
here?
later on. We'll get on that later on.
Okay.
So the next segment is signs that the marriage is at risk. Like these are the telltale signs that your marriage is getting rocky.
Red flag.
And that things are on risk, that y'all are, going down the wrong path. These are the top warning signs for that. Number one is lack of interest in one another.
And that's 48%.
Yeah. And the lack of interest in one another is huge.
Yeah.
And I think that people lose lack of interest in each other a lot. Or like they said,
because if you're not working on it, or if all the other things are taking place, like the reasons for a divorce, then of course you're not interested in each other anymore.
Different seasons, right? Like they also say that, both of y'all are not always on the high, I'm in love at the same time, always, you know what I mean? So the one person that might be at that peak, at that moment of in love might be more interested in the one that's, not on that high level like that isn't. So it's things like that. These are just warning signs, and 48% is lack of interest in one another. Number two at 47% is poor conflict resolution.
And not knowing how to deal with the conflicts,
and number
not
three
talking about it.
Is avoiding each other. So those are the top three.
Avoiding each other because the lack of intimacy. This is like, all of this makes sense.
Yeah.
If you're not being intimate, if you're not having communications, if you're not making time for each other and going on date night, then that's where the lack of interest, that's where all of this starts. And then you will start dodging each other. We have friends currently doing it right now. I mean, it's like they just, and all they need to do is sit down and communicate and express what they're feeling. But they're so, that's when you're like, I don't want to do, this is your marriage. Like you have to sit down and talk. Otherwise you're another statistic. It is what it is.
Number four is a lack of respect and increased criticism. And I think for men, that's number one for them, when their wives or fiancés or whatever lose respect for them or is not respecting them. Because I think men feel like that's a level of love towards them, is when they have respect.
Yeah.
And so if they go to work every day and they're, let's say, a boss or something, or high up or C-level, C-suites, or just, managing people, and those people at work respect them to the T, and then when they get home, their wives are not respecting them, I feel like that definitely can be a big cause and a risk and a red flag of like heading down the wrong path.
So give women an example of what like respect looks like or doesn't look like.
Just, like, not, like it says, criticism, like don't be talking down to your husband, or not making him feel appreciated, and just making him feel like he's not doing the best that he can, you know what I'm saying, things like that. So that respect level, or just not listening to something that he says because he's trying to lead the family. So, those type of things. Okay. Do you want to go off and read just the last like couple of percentages?
Yeah. So substance abuse, domestic violence. These are warning signs again.
Yeah.
Disapproval from family and friends, which once again is peeking its head in. Just living different lifestyles, marrying too young or too soon, and financial stress are all warning signs that you need to start addressing these problems, or otherwise
you got to start resolving these problems now and addressing them now, so it doesn't lead to you getting a divorce.
Right.
Or maybe just addressing these problems now before you even get married.
Before you even get married.
Yeah.
Before you even ask the question.
Because if he or she is hitting you before y'all get married, if there's any, de-violence before y'all get married, it shouldn't even ever get to a marrying state at that time, to me personally.
Yeah.
So that's what I think.
I feel like we should go to what could have saved the marriage. What do you think? Because the conflict among divorced couples, like that's like basically the same thing that we've been talking about this whole time.
Go ahead.
So what could have saved the marriage? Mm-hmm. So I don't have the website pulled up. So the reason we're talking about what could have is because I want to say it was like in the 70 percentile. Mm-hmm. I don't have it in front of me, but over 70% of the people that are divorced, so divorcees is who they were interviewing, said that they believe their marriages could have been saved.
Yeah.
So it was they could have saved it if they would have known a few things. So number one, mm-hmm. if they would have had a better understanding of marriage and commitment. So knowing what they were getting into before they actually did it, understanding what commitment meant to you and to that person prior to getting married could have saved their marriage. 63% say that could have saved their marriage.
Yeah.
That's huge. Mm-hmm. 56% said if they would have understood their partner's values and morals before getting married. And I'm like, how did you not know their values and morals before getting married?
Yeah.
So, and that's again, 56%. That's over half say they could have saved their marriage if they would have understood the values and morals better. Waiting longer to start a family is 44%. That I totally understand. If y'all are in a rocky situation already and then you start having kids, man, it's not, I don't know.
And sometimes people think adding a kid is going to make things better.
Because they think that's how you keep the person. Mm-hmm. That's like that is a cycle. Like that is not how you keep somebody. It's not bringing in a child.
So you gonna tell them that I was gonna leave you and then you got pregnant and was I'm pregnant now. Story for her. I was gonna leave her and then she got pregnant, so I stayed.
What is wrong with you? That never happened.
No, that's cap for sure.
There was none of that.
None of that.
But okay, that threw me off. Okay, mm-hmm. So the next one was if 42% had they've got a therapist or a counselor, they think it could have saved it.
For sure.
That's big.
I don't believe in that, but
waiting longer to get married, living together before getting married.
I think that you should do that anyway.
Yeah,
I mean,
29%.
That's just me.
Some marriages 5% said none of this would have helped. And it would have ended in divorce no matter what. But that is a small number.
Yeah.
Only 5% of all divorcees say it couldn't have been saved.
Yeah.
So what does that tell us? Like, know what we're doing and how to prevent it. And our divorce rate should only be at like 5%.
For sure. And, those are the, what could have saved a marriage from divorcees. But, what's funny is I want to say it's funny is that it says, like, from the stats and everything was reading, it says most divorces happen between the third and seventh year of marriage. The third and seventh year of marriage is when the most divorces happen. And
I've always heard year 7 is one of your hardest years.
Yeah. Was year 7 hard for us?
We had a rough year 7.
Did we?
Yeah.
I had a great year.
I mean, I wouldn't say it was like, nothing has ever been like, okay, divorce is what it is. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, we went through it. There was years that we went through it for sure. Yeah. Brand new, having babies, learning and new careers were starting. I mean, there was all kinds of stuff going on then.
Yeah. And it says early years are critical because lack of compatibility is a major reason for the early divorces in those 3 to, do you remember what then it said, like, what was the percentage of divorce dropping once you get past year 10?
Past year 10, which I feel like we should high five on this.
Yeah.
4%. Only 4% get divorced after they've been married 10 years.
So when you get to that 10-year mark or more, I don't want to say you're in the clear,
it for life.
But you're in that damn thing. Like, you're in that window of opportunity. Y'all are fucking thriving. You know what I'm saying? High five on that one. Okay.
Yes. So That was interesting to me.
Yeah. So I want to get into this real quick before we close out the pod. First of all, let me do a quick commercial break. This episode 2 of season 3 is brought to you by Open Door Parking, the best valet company in town, man. They specialize in special events, restaurants, hotels. They just do everything that has to do with parking, garages, anything that you need, they got you, man. Open Door Parking. Do. All right.
And we're back.
So this is one that I think all y'all should know. 76%.
Oh, you couldn't wait to say this
This
one.
is my favorite part of the show. 76% of divorces are initiated by women. And I want y'all to understand what they said the reason was. The reason they say that is because their needs were not getting met. So you see this hat right here? I call cap. I call cap on that.
I thought it said something.
No, it does. It does say something, but I call cap on that. We're not playing no bullshit. Let me break this down to y'all. 76% of marriages end in divorce, and it's initiated by the woman because they say their needs are not being met. I call cap on that because this is the reason why I think it's so hard for women to initiate divorces. This is my reason that I think. I think that they should have added this in there. I think that when you start off young and y'all get married. Say, for example, you're in school, you got your undergrad, now you're getting your master's right now. I'm working at, let's say, UPS, working the trucks, boxing the trucks up, doing that, slaving, working overtime, working 12 to 16 hours, paying for you to go to school. You get through school, you get a master's degree, you're all, you get that job that you always wanted. Now you're making way more money than me. Now my $60,000 a year that I was making is nothing because you're making $120,000. So now you start looking at those men that you work with that are quote unquote supposed to be high value men, and they're making good money, and now you're making good money. Our compatibility and your attraction to me is probably not the same anymore. But what happened to that time that I was in the slums?
You're giving one example.
I think that happens.
I
way
agree.
more.
I think that happens.
It's not one example. I think that shit is why all of them happen.
What?
My opinion.
So women just all of a sudden start making more money than their man, and now they're not happy anymore. So 70%, 76% of them are going to get divorced.
I don't think that number is high. Where
Maybe
it says
that's the
76%
problem is that men don't realize when their woman's needs aren't being met emotionally. It's not women are emotional creatures.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of emotions that we need and that we take and that we give. And men, y'all are not emotional. Y'all don't know how to do that part of it most of the time.
Cap.
And really?
I just said cap. Continue.
I'm just saying, no, that I think there's a small number of women who say, oh, I now make more money.
Women,
so
I want y'all to be real. Like, don't hit me with the bullshit. Like, be real.
They're going to be real.
Y'all, 76% because their needs not met. Come on, man. Like, I'm not saying that women needs are not getting met, but I'm saying I know it's a larger number of women, like I said, getting that high earning job.
No, I disagree with that. I disagree. I think it really is what it says and I think it's emotional needs. I don't think I think men don't get the physical.
What are those emotional needs? Can you tell me, please?
Yeah, like listen to me. Listen to my emotions right now.
Okay.
Yeah, emotional, making the way you make me feel, the way I am. Like we said, women tend to lose themselves. So like not paying attention to how unhappy she is, making sure she is doing something for herself. Like when a man comes home, if he's always like he leaves the house angry and comes home angry, and then he wonders why nobody wants to see him or why the mood is weird at home. It's women are emotional and we feel that. And then in turn, when y'all are, angry or come across as angry or not in a good mood, we take it personally, and then our intimacy shuts off, and then y'all are mad because we're not giving up the booty, and we don't want to give it up because emotionally our needs aren't met. We don't feel safe. So therefore women tend to not want to be physically involved with someone that they don't feel safe with. So I'm just saying, like, women need their emotional needs to be met. We need to feel safe. We need to feel secure.
Okay.
That's 76% don't feel it. So I'm just saying. They did call cap if you want.
Y'all initiate the divorce.
It's not because they started making more money and decided to leave their man.
I need to know that stat. That stat is huge.
Then look that stat up. But
I think that
is not,
stat is so huge.
I think that happens, but
For
that
sure.
that is not.
It's a huge number. Hey, quick spinoff. We were talking about, when from last pod, we were talking about, women losing themselves and not being able to when they get married or when they have kids and all those type of things. I got into a Instagram tiff with Jess, and we were talking about it, going back and forth, and she always says the husband needs to do.
Mind you, it's very hard to win an argument with Jess.
So
she will have point after point after point.
She says that the husbands just need to do their fair share. That's her main thing, doing their fair share, like coming home and doing 50% of what is required, at home. But I understand the 50%.
I believe that she's also talking, I don't know this, but was she talking about women who also carry on a full-time job?
We didn't clarify that. Okay. So I was going to say, I understand if I go to work, she goes to work, we're both working 9 to 5, we come home, we should definitely take on the house duties and kid duties and food duties 50%, because we're both drained and we need to be able to come together. And if she got 70% and I got 30 that day, we need to put it together to make 100%. I get that. But for the traditional families who the husband does all the work, he works anywhere from 9 to 5 or 12-hour shifts or 16-hour shifts, and he comes home, it's crazy to expect him to give 50% of the time and effort with the house duties and kids and all that. I just don't see how that can be
What
done.
She was saying is, if you're, and I agree to that. So what she was saying is, just for other people, for context, is if your woman is saying she has lost them, that she has lost herself, then to look towards the man. She was saying, blame yourself. Because wasn't that what she was saying? That's kind of how I took it. Yeah. Because if I have totally lost myself, then I am not getting supported in any way, is what I think she was saying. So the man needs to recognize and see that she has lost herself.
I think that's bullshit, by the way.
Come in. I don't think it's. I think it's very
bullshit.
Important to understand where your wife is,
for sure.
And if she's if she's totally losing herself. And maybe she doesn't. Maybe it is what men don't understand is stay-at-home moms. This is not an easy job. There's nothing easy about being a stay-at-home mom. It is so mentally demanding. You don't want to get involved with this conversation.
No, this is my thing on that, because
they're going to a 9 to 5 job. Going and being a dental hygienist is so much easier to leave the house and go clean teeth every day than it is to stay at home and take care of kids.
Whoa. Y'all got to understand this. This is what I mean. I don't give a damn what y'all think. Come for me if you want to. I'm about that life. This is what I'm talking about. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. If my wife stays at home, she's a traditional family. She does stay at home. She does run her business, but I'm saying for the majority of the time she stays at home. If I go to work, I drop the kids off at school. They get to school, let's say, for just number's sake, they get to school at 7:30. They don't get out till 4. That's all the kids. There's no kids in the house. Not saying that she's not doing anything around the house, but what I'm saying is there's no kids in the house. Not saying that you still don't got other things to do. Not saying that now you're not sitting at your computer getting the grocery list together, wondering what to feed the kids, blah, 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 doing all that. Oh, I got to get them gymnastics at this day, that day. Not saying that you don't got stuff going through your head and all that. But from 7:30 to 4, you have no kids.
It's not to 4. They have to be picked up at 3:20. So it's really
7:30 to 3:20. You have no kids. Not saying that I'm not never.
And the other
not
one
taking,
doesn't get dropped off till more like 10 a.m.
Okay, that's your choice. She can be dropped up at 9.
Just saying.
So let's just say they're all at school, like I just said. What are we talking about right now? The kids are at school. I'm at work working. Men are at work working 8 hours, 12 hours, 16-hour shifts. What are we talking about?
Okay.
They're dealing with shit all day.
There are a lot of men that own their own business that I'm sorry, y'all are not working 8, 12, 16-hour shifts.
I run my own business. Granted, I'm speaking for the dudes that work 9 hours, 12 hours, 16-hour days. And then...
So okay. And I get it. But we're talking about just during school, which is fine. But again, it's now having to do laundry for however many people live in your household. It's getting the food together for that night. Mm-hmm. It's trying to get yourself emotionally back from the 5,000 moms and spilled cereals and coffees and stuff that you had that morning. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying it's not an easy job. Like I said, it would be much easier for me to get up, put my scrubs on, and go clean teeth for 8 hours a day than it would to take care and be a stay-at-home mom.
For sure.
It's not what I want to do. I'm doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
But that job is easier. It is less mentally demanding. And that's what I'm saying. Is it physically demanding to be a stay-at-home mom? No, it's the mental. And
I'm not knocking stay-at-home mom because she's a stay-at-home mom. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, like, when we got on the subject of like losing yourself, I'm thinking to myself, me, man thinking, is that from that time that the kids are at school or whatever, that does give you a lot of time in that span. I get it. You got other stuff to think about what you're doing, but I think in that little, let's say 6-7 hour window, you get a chance to do things like go get facials, go get your hair done, go get your nails done, go do all that. You know what I'm saying? Go do all the things that you want to do. You can do those things. And that's the comfortability of having a husband that is working 9, 12, 16 hours. So you get to do those things. And then of course when the kids get home, and most dads are coming home when the kids are getting home, so that you are getting a little bit of help anyway.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. While we're sitting here, like, it makes it sound like, oh, you have all this time, but you do not have 7 or 8 hours during the day. You don't. By the time they get to school, by the time you get dressed, or if you want to do your workout or something, by the time I get to a grocery store, you'll have time to go to a grocery store, and then you could, like you said, get your nails done. And then by that time, you're done. It's time to go get kids again.
So manage your time better. What are we talking about?
I'm so done with you right now.
Manage your time better.
Okay,
I'm just saying. So all I'm trying to say is that there's still time within, granted, that's when your kids get in school. Before then, of course, you're with the baby all damn day. Like, granted, the baby goes down for a little 2-hour nap. I mean, you really don't get to do much in that little 2 hours because you can't leave or anything. So I understand that. But I'm speaking more of when the kids are in school and you have a little bit more time. Not for like the stay-at-home moms that are with kids or you're homeschooling and all that type of thing. I get it. Those are different things. And no knock against the stay-at-home moms and all the moms in the world. I'm just saying there's still time where you can do some things. Because if it's a 50-50 situation, like, people want it to be, or some women want it to be, where they want a 50-50 situation, meaning that when he gets home, even if he has to work, or even if I have to work, or the woman works, he works, they want it to be 50-50 on house duties and all that. It's never going to be 50-50 in life. Listen, it's never going to be 50-50 because the man will always have to do one more thing than you do. And that's protect his family. Because if a man runs through that door with a gun, she not jumping in front of it. I'm going to risk my life and I'm going to jump in front of it. So it can't be 50-50 because I'm going to take anything that comes to that door and threatens my family. We ain't going to be back to back. This ain't Bad Boys. Chill. It ain't going to be no back to back like Bad Boys.
I'll trip them when they come in the door.
I'm going to be out in the front line like protecting my family like I'm supposed to do, like I was taught to do. And like I have no problem doing.
That's a rare instance. Should be saying, at least.
I'm just saying though.
Okay.
But yeah, man. So like definitely, man, these questions that we touch based on, man.
I think this is a hot topic. I think it's important.
Hot topic, man. I don't want anybody to get a divorce. I really want y'all to make it past that 10-year mark, like, you know what I'm saying, me and Miss Jones are, and to be able to, prosper and have a beautiful life together and just, enjoy each other. But these are the stats from Forbes, and it's like why people get married, why marriages fail, signs of the marriage is at risk, and what you could have done to save, prevent the marriage, from divorcees. So these are all great things and great takeaways, man. And like I said, 76% of women initiate divorce. You know
and
why?
36% of
because
men get married
their
for
feelings are not being.
companionship.
I don't say their feelings not being met, but their needs are not getting met.
Yeah, and you joke at that, like it's literally.
I don't
a
joke
statistic.
at that because I think I think that's high. I think it's some other underlining cap in that.
Yeah,
for sure. So where's that coffee from?
Medici.
And where is that located at?
5 locations. Check it out.
Check them out.
Google them. Medici, Austin.
So this is, like I said, episode 2, right?
Yeah. Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July is coming up.
We're going to a rodeo.
We're going to a rodeo like we always do, man. We're going to have a blast. We're going to be putting some rodeo pictures up, man, and just how we get down when we go to the rodeo. So we want to thank all of our listeners, man. Like I said, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, man. We want to thank Round Rock Studios for always having us and giving us this opportunity to share ourselves and share our space and our family and lives and everything like that, man. So keep tuning in, keep listening, and we thank y'all. This is Coffee with Jenni and Dre. I'm Dre.
And I'm Jenni.
And we are out.
Peace.